defenseless against this animal that could chomp us to pieces.
I could hear the water splashing and the kids saying, "Papa."
If I didn't go for them, they were gonna die.
Our plan was to spend 3 days in Victoria Falls. We knew that there were some activities to do around the Zambezi River. I'm married to Patricia. We've been married for 14 years now. 2 children, Natalia, who's 12, and Javier, who's 10 years old. I love my children and my wife. It is quite special to spend time with family. That's something that we've always valued, and we do it quite a bit. We didn't know there were going to be other people, but I guess that's something you expect. But it was just ourselves and this other couple that was going to join us in the tour.
It was our first holiday together, so it was very exciting.
What made me decide to plan this holiday was because I had just gotten back from Iraq.
Justin and I are both adventurous people. We like adrenaline.
So we decided to go on the canoeing trip.
The river was gorgeous. And of course, it was absolutely wonderful doing it with someone that I wanted to be with. I met Justin at the Marine base they have in Zimbabwe. I've been there before, I've had a lot of friends there, and it's developed since then.
Kaylin lost her mom when she was little. I lost my dad when I was little, so we just connected. They gave us a quick safety brief before we start our trip. I thought to myself, hopefully these guides, they're properly trained.
Honestly, I didn't think about the fact that they had radios, or I didn't think about whether they had guns or not. I didn't expect anything wrong to happen.
Then they moved on to telling us about the crocodiles. Keep legs, arms, or anything inside the boat. Being in Iraq taught me to always have a high sense of situational awareness. What if a crocodile attacks? What would I do? I just started running drills in my head because that's what we were trying to do.
And we were ready to start the trip. The kids would be with each one of the guides. That would allow Patricia and I to control the canoe better. I mean, we're not experts at canoeing. We started taking some pictures. It was nice scenery, seeing it from the water.
At that point, I mean, I was loving it. You know, we were going through grass, being from Africa, and having my dad as a hunter. If I told him I was going to go canoeing, he would have said no. It's a hippo, it's a crocodile, it's a canoe. Not a good combination. That's where hippos and crocodiles generally hide, is in grassy areas.
We could have avoided the grass, but the guy told us, no, it's good. We'll go on the lead and just follow us. At that point, all I thought was crocodiles. Told Kaylin, keep your arms in.
We weren't worried about the children being separated because they were all the time within our sight. We saw a small crocodile on the side. But we didn't think about seeing any more.
We decided to take a break, and the guides point towards the nearest bank.
So we started paddling to a small clearing.
I just heard a spray. And I heard the guide say, there's a hippo in the water, paddle away. And that's when my heart literally stopped. everything that I knew, everything that I was taught, all those stories, everything at the moment I remembered.
Patricia and I started paddling away from it, and Patricia saying it was going to hit us. It hit the canoe from the bottom. And then as soon as I hit the water, I felt the animal grabbing my leg. It hit the canoe from the bottom. It sent us upwards into the air. The moment I hit the water, I felt the animal grabbing my left leg. I was gonna drown. Trying to grasp some air, and the animal was pulling me underwater, and it was shaking its head from side to side. The pain at that moment was excruciating. I managed to get some air, and then right after I grabbed that air, all of a sudden it just let me go. I did get on my front and I tried to swim, but it was too painful because of my leg. I decided to line my back with a life vest and pull myself with my arms.
My heart dropped. Everything around me slowed down. I could hear the water splashing and my heartbeat. And the kids saying, "Papa." Oh, God. What do we do?
I felt useless against this big animal that could chomp us to pieces. I want to say that I felt that I was under fire. The two guys automatically went with the kids to shore. Mrs. Franco was screaming, "Help us." And Mr. Franco, he was just laying on his back.
And now we're in the Hippo's way. I was saying that we're gonna die. I'm gonna die. Justin said, "You're not. He was strong and, like he knew exactly what he was saying. And in my head, I was like, you have no idea what's gonna happen. This paddling ain't working. We're not going anywhere. The guides aren't telling us what to do. We're right in the line of fire. We're next." Javi and Patricia were paddling, they were in the water, and the hippo popped up just beyond them. I turned around, I saw its face on the surface. And that was the last I saw of the hippo. I heard the kids screaming, "Papa, Papa." The scream was so intense. And I think, these two people have a family. It's just me. And it's just Justin. The way the guide handled it, just standing on the shore to hope that they can get on shore. Justin and I decided that we'll go get them.
The kids are screaming, they're about to lose their family. I grew up without a family, without my dad. Maybe, they feel the same way that they're about to lose their dad. A sense of responsibility took over. If I didn't go for them, they were gonna die.
Javier says he's taken my leg. And as I carried on to look down, the material floated up from his shorts until I saw his foot hung on by the tendon. Wow. I don't think he knew how bad his leg was. I was scared that he would either go underneath the canoe and drown, or that his foot would come off. We could not get them into the boat. I didn't have the strength to pull Patricia in.
Eventually, I see a big tree sticking out close to the shore. So I tell my girlfriend, as soon as we get close to the tree, you just reach for it.
And I said to him, hey, I can handle myself. You got them. I slipped out and was holding on to the log. I looked back to see where Justin was going.
All I hear is baby save them. Really needed to save these people and get them to shore. Mr. Franco was still in the deep end while Mrs. Franco was closer to shore when she was able to stand up.
I go on shore now and I see the guide trying with his radio to contact people, and he said to me, I have to go find signal. I have no signal here. And I said to him, you need to hurry. You really need to hurry. And that was the last I saw of him. So that's when I turn around and I run into the kids on their own. I see Patricia. I've got Patricia, I've got the kids. Where's Justin? I was worried about Justin now. And where's Javier?
I remember Kaylin falling from the canoe, and my wife also struggling to get to the branch very close to the shore. But Justin at that time was trying to pull me on the boat. Once I was in the canoe, I looked down and I saw my leg. I saw that my foot was detached, just hanging by a thread of probably skin or tendons or muscle. I don't know what it was.
I knew it was dangerous because I could see that he was losing a lot of blood. As soon as he gets in, I jump out and start dragging him to shore. My training just took over. I just went into combat mode. I've never had to deal with that kind of injury. A lot of dead bodies and everything in Iraq and a lot of injuries, but not to the point that the person is squirting blood and that his foot is hanging by a piece of skin. He's looking at his foot saying, help me. I just felt like a whole bunch of weight had dropped onto me. He wasn't gonna make it.
Once I saw my leg, I realized how bad the injury was, and I realized at that time that my life was at risk. He said, you're gonna be all right, don't worry. I'm a U.S. Marine, I'm gonna get you some help.
He was squirting blood and trying to look for ways to stop the bleeding. My binoculars have a long enough string that I can wrap it around and do a tourniquet. He needs it fast before he starts bleeding to death.
He said, just bear with me, I'll start applying pressure, and it's gonna be very painful. The pain at that moment was just amazing. It was excruciating pain.
Eventually, it's tight enough that the bleeding stops. At this point, I could tell that Mr. Franco was losing strength because every so often I told him to grab my hand and squeeze it, and it wasn't that strong. Kaylin and kids and Patricia showed up. We just told them to go away. I didn't want any of them passing out because of the shock to see the injured. I'm screaming for Kaylin to come back. I need help with the tourniquet because it's been 30 minutes and there's still no help. I need to find out what's going on with the guys.
Javier was calm. He said to me, he's like, how's my wife? I said, she's fine. And he says, my kids. And I said, they were with your wife and they're fine. He says, good. And he said to me, is help on its way? I was relying on the guide at this point that he has gone to find help. But the guide couldn't even find signal on his radio. I didn't want to say no because that was the answer. So I said, yes, it is. It's on its way. He looked at me and said, you're such a sweet girl, but it's not, is it? And that was the point where he just put his head back and he was like, oh, you know, he obviously just closed his eye for a second and I was like, Javier, wake up. He was in danger in his life. He's so pale and he was like sweating.
He was losing strength. He was losing hope. He kept on saying, I can't hear the helicopter. Where's the medical help? You take care of my wife and my kids, make sure they get home safe. Kind of like in a way of saying it, like, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I felt it was gonna be my responsibility if I didn't keep him alive.
I think his confidence helped me. If I kept calm and if I kept awake, I had a very better chance of surviving.
We had been waiting for an hour, just hoping for a miracle. There was a guy there with the vehicle just running towards us. He either heard the screams of help at the front gate or on his radio on his vehicle.
We were just trying to get him out of there. I didn't hug them goodbye or anything. I had to get to hospital. I looked to Justin and I completely break down. All that emotion I felt through the whole thing that I had to hold in, all of it came out. I hadn't cried like that in such a long time. But that's when it hit me how bad everything really was.
There was quite a lot of damage, and there was an infection that had started to set up on the wound. So we decided to go ahead and continue with an amputation, which was scheduled for the following day. I don't think I gave it more thought other than it needed to be done. I feel very thankful that I'm able to tell my story and that I'm able to stick around here. Life has better and greater things for me down the road.
After that day, our relationship was on another level. The thing that stands out the most from Justin is how he held everything together. I want this to last for a long time. I want this man in my life.
I'm very happy you were there.
Javier told Kaylin and I that if it wasn't for us, they would have been dead.
We're not special people. We're just ordinary people that were there to just the right place at the right time, you know.
In his eyes, we were his angels. I was out of words.
We had known Kaylin and Justin for just a couple hours, and they were willing to give it all out and risk their lives to help us. One of the things I learned is that there's good people, and there are good people around, and people that would always be willing to help.